Devlog 1 of Kyurem Gray. Um, this should technically be Devlog 0 because I'm just explaining everything right now. Um, I have been working on a Pokemon, yeah, Pokemon Black and White ROM hack, not think, it's Pokemon Black and White, where it's basically just Pokemon Black and White combined with gradual difficulty spikes and a rebalance of a lot of Pokemon. Um, if you don't want to be spoiled for Kyurem Gray with some of the changes, then feel free to skip this devlog, go into another one where I'm going to be working on the map and trainers and all that. Sorry, I didn't think uh about this at all. I don't have like a script or anything. I'm just doing this based off my brain. So skip this part and go over to the second devlog, which will probably be released soon enough. If you don't want to be spoiled, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers for a lot of reworks. Okay. Now getting back on track, uh, Barrel got a massive rework. It's meant to be more of a joke than anything. For example, Barrel gets Judgment at level 100. Like I just thought that was funny. Like his special attack is increased to 85. You know, his speed gets an increase from 71 to 75, and his defense gets increased from 60 to 80. His EV yield will be attack and special attack, but I haven't changed Bidoof yet. Love Disc now evolves into Alola Mola. I'm surprised it didn't. Also, yes, Alola Mola is in this game. It's not great, but it's an okay Pokemon. But it evolves via Water Stone. It gets Scald at level 20. What I was thinking with Alola Mola is that it just needs to be its Gen 9 version, because Gen 9 Alola Mola has Regenerator, has Scald, has a lot of things. But this Alola Mola is meant to be tanky, like more tanky than you'd expect. For example, its special attack was uh yeah, its special attack was buffed from 40 to 90. Its defense was buffed from 45 to 85, and its speed was buffed from 65 to 80. So I just balanced out its defenses. But the attack for Alola Mola is from 75 to 40, so you can't really have it as an evened out attacker. But I also understand how people wouldn't like that. So Alola Mola might be getting more reworks in the coming updates, I would say. Pretty much in the demo, she's going to be changed like drastically. Um, but outside of that, I don't really do anything with the Alola Mola, so I wouldn't really say that I should use it all that often. Swadloon now evolves into Leavanny via level up and not friendship anymore. Because in specifically Gen 5, friendship is awful. Because it does nothing and it's only for evolutions. But I'm gonna keep Lopunny and a few others, because Lopunny is probably also gonna get a buff. So there's that. Swadloon gets more defense. He learns Iron Defense at level 25. Also, he evolves into or Swadloon evolves into Leavanny at level 30. And the reason why I did that is because Swadloon got buffs. And if you keep it around, it has the hidden ability Contrary, so you could probably fuck around with that if you really want to give it a try. Leavanny now learns Energy Ball, because now it's a special attacker and a physical attacker in a way. Like it has even special attack and physical attack, so they're both 90. I decreased Leavanny's attack from 103 to 90, and the reason why I did that is so that they could run Life Orb and just be an absolute sweeper. But the problem is that their defenses are fairly buffed, I would say. Leavanny's speed is increased to 100, so now it outspeeds a lot of Pokemon. For example, the main problem with Leavanny is that it's just unreliable. It's a good attacker, but the problem with Leavanny is that it's not able to do more shit. Uh, because its speed is super low, so you could run um Choice Scarf. Leavanny will also probably be getting buffed if that's too little. Their defenses are increased from 80 to 85, both of them. And that's my changes for Leavanny. Mainly because I actually like Leavanny, and I think they get too much backlash. Um, Watchog is now a normal dark type, which I honestly don't know why that wasn't done already. It was for the evil team, but I guess that 4 times weakness to fighting is kind of ridiculous. But outside of that, they're still really good. Um, for especially Lenora, because they get Pursuit at level 23, and then they get Night Slash at level 34, not 24. Yeah. His special defense is increased to 80, and his attack is increased to 90, while his defense is decreased from 69 to 50. Kind of funny. Nice number, but now it's getting reduced. Watchog's speed is increased to 95 compared to 77, but it does get moody. It does get the moody hidden ability, which I'm going to try and make it so that I can edit the code to make hidden abilities findable and not, you have to breed for that. But you get it. Lumineon is getting a buff, and Finneon is getting a evolution buff, I would say. So Finneon now evolves into Lumineon at level 28, so it's a good water sweeper, but it's also very good defensively, is what I'm trying to go for. So Lumineon special attack and special defense. It's basically meant to be a special wall. I'm going to pull up. I don't know the exact thing. But Alakazam, the best special sweeper in Gen 5, by far, his special defense is only 85. So at level 100, it's only 207. So basically, a lot of this will be based off the original, like, how is this good in competitive Pokemon? How do I balance this out kind of thing. Like, for example, Gligar is really good defensively, but they're just okay offensively. I want to make that said Gligar kind of good with defenses, but their special attack is awful because the special attack on Gligar right now is just okay. If you don't increase it at all or anything, uh, oh, never mind. Sorry, I was looking at the defenses. I'm very stupid. Um, but a good all-arounder kind of Pokemon like Jirachi or something might get a nerf at some point, so they can't like have Serene Grace or something. I don't know if I'll be doing that though, because that I don't want all of the bad Pokemon to get buffed into an Oblivion to the point where they're really good, but I also don't want the bad Pokemon to get nerfed to the point where they're useless. So, Lumineon now learns Aurora Beam at level 38. I'm just rewarding the players for getting certain Pokemon that you wouldn't think are good. Like, for example, Cryogonal. Cryogonal now gets Moody and is now a ghost type. Um, it gets Hail at level 13. Um, Hail doesn't do anything, I don't think, in Gen 5. Yeah, because they changed it in Gen 9. But either way, at level 41 they get Shadow Ball, and at level 57 they get Hex. The reason why Cryogonal out of all Pokemon gets Hex is because now at level 43 they get Toxic, which Toxic is busted with Hex. If you want a good example of that, look at fucking what's his name, Gengar. So I couldn't. I know like I'm working on a Pokemon or I'm hacking all, and I should probably remember a lot of the Pokemon, but you get it. Roughlight now evolves into Braviary at level 30. This is a very big thing, especially because of Winona. Wynona's whole thing right now is that her Pokemon are kind of busted because her like whole team is just not good at all. And in a way, it's I don't want to have to explain that like, oh, her team is good, oh, her team is bad. I just want to say it's bad. Like Wynona's team in Black and White is awful, and in Black and White 2, it's okay at best. Uh, Rufflet now learns Bulk Up at level 24 instead of Scary Face. And the reason why I'm changing out Scary Face is because Scary Face is dog shit and is just in this game specifically, Scary Face is only actually scary when it's in uh Lenora's team, and in Lenora's team, it's just okay. Like, oh, you're stuck in the fight. It's not gonna really matter. Braviary is now flying fighting, which is probably one of the best things because Braviary by itself is dog shit. Because like normal flying is decent, but it's not. It doesn't have any good moves, so it also gets close combat level 33 instead of TM. I want to be fair though, you're going to be getting TM moves like throughout the entire region, so it's not really going to be too much of a change. Uh, Kricketot and Cricketune are going to be getting buffs, and so is Butterfree. But the reason why I'm buffing Butterfree is because without this, it's just kind of bad. If you know what I mean. Like it's an okay Pokemon, but if you don't have any like good stuff on it, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Um, Kricketot and Cricketune. Oh no, never mind. Sorry, I thought I made Kricketot and Cricketune hidden ability Swarm, but no. Cricketot's hidden ability is Swarm, so it could actually be good against, for example, uh, Burr or Silent, because you're going to be getting it super early. And Nuzlocke Swarm Kricketot could actually be pretty good. Cricketune hidden ability is now Defiant, and the reason why I'm giving him Defiant is I'm pretty sure I got the right one. If I didn't, then I'm gonna change it. Oops. Defiant should be. Yeah. Okay. So, like, some of the only Pokemon in the entire game that get Defiant, as its hidden ability are in this game specifically. I'm pretty. Yeah, it's in Gen 5. It was introduced in Gen 5. Are Mankey, Primeape, and Farfetch'd. Oh yeah, and Bisharp and all that. No, never mind. And Braviary. I thought it was a lot less Pokemon. I guess that's just on me. Oh no, it's nothing. Never mind. Never mind. It's nothing. Like Annihilate gets it, King Ambit gets it, Ogerpon, Phalanx, Obstagoon, and Passimian are basically the region exclusive. Oh, and Zapdos Galarian form. But outside of that, it's like Purugly. I don't know why Purugly gets it. It's weird. Um, Outside of that though, the reason why I gave him Defiant is because his HP and attack is buffed. So he's meant to be kind of like a Leavanny, like a super good Leavanny. I'm eventually gonna make well, a better Leavanny, I guess I should say. Eventually, I'm going to make a buff for certain defensive Pokemon, and make certain Pokemon defensive instead of offensive. For example, Caracosta should not be offensive. Like, yes, I do think Caracosta being a mixed attacker is pretty good, but the problem is that its defense is dog shit for the most part because water rock is 2 times weak to grass, so I'm probably gonna make a water ground. Then again, it is one of the fossils, so we'll have to see on that. Outside of that, though, Cricketune HP is now 90. His attack is now at 95. And their speed is now 80, which is not great because a lot of Pokemon in this game are super speedy. For example, Excelgor, who's getting a new thing. Their defense and special defense has also been buffed to 70 and 80, so Kricketune is actually good. And they also get Roar at level 23, which I honestly don't know why they don't get Roar, in my opinion. Because, I mean, come on. Um, and now for the Butterfree buffs. Butterfree now gets Prankster and is a tiny bit more defensive. They're just meant to be a good pivot. And the reason why I'm mentioning all these competitive terms is because in the later gyms, for example, Clay will have some of the strongest Pokemon. We're gonna go into gym leaders in the next devlog. But for now, we're just working on like reworks, quick changes, all that. So there's that. Um, so Butterfree finally gets Prankster. And the reason why I gave them Prankster, and is Prankster even in Gen 5? I probably should have looked this up. Hold on. I feel very dumb. Yes, it is. Okay. Competitive Pokemon player, by the way. But but yeah, it's getting Prankster. And the reason why is because there's so little good Prankster Pokemon outside of Whimsicott. And if even Whimsicott isn't fairy in this, so they're less defensive. They're just pure grass. Um Sableye and Thundurus are the big doubles of Gen 5. Like yes, Tornadus was good because pure flying is kind of not countered. Like you're not going to be seeing a good pivot into a flying type. But the problem with that is that Thundurus just does it better. Like better attack, better defenses, even though they're the exact same, by the way. Again, competitive Pokemon player here. I do this shit because I think it's fun. Amoonguss might not be getting any buffs because it's already good enough with Regenerator. Maybe I could make it more defensive because its defenses are only 70 and 80. But outside of that, it's really good. So I don't think it'll be getting a buff anytime soon. Uh, anyway, Butterfree's defenses are increased to 50 to 55 and learns Twister at level 32, while their special attack is decreased to 80. Um, by the way, I'm sorry I'm getting so sidetracked. Um, okay, moving on. All of the trade evolutions get changed. Um, or the Evolvia trade are going to be changed. I will read those out currently. And again, real quick, before anybody says anything, these devlogs are going to be unedited. So I don't have a script, I don't have anything. I'm just making these on a fucking whim. So be patient with me. All right. All of the trade evolutions will evolve rather with items or level up. Um let's read these out, shall we? Poliwhirl now evolves into Politoed via holding King's Rock. Kadabra now evolves into Alakazam via level up, level 45. Machoke now evolves into Machamp at level 30. Graveler now evolves into Golem via level up, level 35. Slowpoke now evolves into Slowking via King's Rock. So, are you starting to notice the pattern? You starting to notice the pattern here? So, basically, every single Pokemon that needs a held item to evolve, if you just give that, in trade, if you just give that to the Pokemon, they will immediately evolve. So Feebas, you can now get Milotic super super easily. I will have to put a place for the Reaper Cloth, sadly. And for the deep sea items. Um Boldore now evolves into Gigalith via level 40 level 40 level 40. But so Kadabra now evolves into Excavalier or what? Carablast now evolves into Scavalair via Metal Coat. Helmet now evolves into Excelgor via Expert Belt. You can kind of see the uh, similar stuff. And Girder now evolves into Conkeldurr via level 40. I might buff that to level 45 because how good Conkeldurr is. Because Girder for the most part can sweep through the entirety of Unova until um I would say until Winona or Clay. Because like he learned so many coverage moves before he gets to level 40. Cofagrigus is now Ghost Steel. Don't know why he wasn't Ghost Steel to begin with. Same with Gotharita, Gothita, and Gothitelle. They are now Psychic Dark, which again, don't understand why they weren't just those to begin with. Muna and Musharna are now evolving, are now fucking can't speak. A Psychic Ghost. Mianfu and Mian Shao have different level ups now. So, for example, Mianfu will now evolve into Mian Shao at level 25, so I just halved it. And the reason why is because Mian Shao can be good for a while, but it's not awful. And then this seems weird for a quick change, but I'm doing this based off typings and just giving a different hidden ability or making it so that this Pokemon gets a new move. So Durant's new hidden ability is now Regenerator, and the reason why I say that is because Durant is already dog shit enough. You got to give my boy some credit. He dies immediately to any fire type move, but now with Regenerator, he can now run Endure and then just switch out whenever he thinks, there's going to be a fire type move or something. Um, but that's kind of the main reason. It's also because, Regenerator is also pretty good. I don't get why this wasn't done from the beginning. Shelmet is now Bug Steel. It's not great. It's not a great typing. Excavalair does it better in many ways, but Shelmet now has the coverage to deal with certain Pokemon. For example, anything that can fight against a bug type, like anything, like flying. So it gives it some good defensive coverage. Excelgor is now a Bug Dark. Again, don't know why this wasn't done from the beginning. Druddigan is now Dragon Fighting. The reason why I did this is because Druddigan is a lot more reliable whenever running close combat. Which, I don't know if he could even learn close combat. Comments? Comments? Tell me if I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, comments. No, I'm just kidding. But Druddigan will be getting a better rework later on. To make it more defensive and offensive in a way. Because Dragon Fighting is a busted ass combo. Superior is now Grass Dragon. And the reason why, it's a serpent. Serpents are based off dragons in a way. You can kind of see where I was going with that, but not really. But you get it. Emboar is now Fire Rock. And the reason why I made Emboar Fire Rock is because I was assuming sumo wrestler, they beat up rocks, but that's more karate. So my brain was in the wrong spot. I'm going to probably adjust that so it stays as firefighting, but I don't want to have a duplicate. So I need to find a good in between from dragon and fighting. I'll probably also change Samurats, which is water fighting, but that makes a lot more sense. So Emboar might also be getting a change and or a full-on rework because later on in the game he's just awful, especially with some of the gym leader teams I'm gonna be having later on. A little spoiler, the first gym will no longer have just Lillipup and then their Pokemon. So now they'll have different stuff. Their monkey Pokemon. I don't know if that was a good change because a lot of these Pokemon are kind of busted at the beginning, but if I nerf them enough from in the beginning part, then it's more doable. Thraw is now a fighting normal, and the reason why I made him a fighting normal, hear me out. He's a sumo wrestler dude. That's pretty fighting normal already. I mean, like Snorlax. Think of Snorlax. That's what I was thinking. Sock is now a fighting dark, and the reason why Sock is a fighting dark is because I mean he's more slim. Okay, I just sound like I'm body shaming. Just hear me out. He's more of a karate kind of guy, and karate Pokemon just tend to be pure fighting or dark or like fighting dark. So that's kind of where I was going, but I don't know. Also, if you want me to change any of this shit, or if you're like, hey, this rework needs to be changed so that this Pokemon gets buffed in this way instead of this way, tell me. I will gladly look it over and then I'll reply to your comment. And yes, if enough of you reply, if enough of you comment and shit, I'm gonna be like, whoa, I'm actually gonna put in some effort for that. Stantler is now a normal psychic type. And the reason why Stantler is now a normal psychic type is because, well, it evolves into, not in this game, but it evolves into a normal psychic type. So I just kind of assumed, like, I know it gets its thing later, for the psychic type's energy kind of stuff, but I'm just saying it'd be kind of good. Scolipede now has 90 instead of 60 HP. Emolga now has 70 compared to 55 HP. Excavalier now learns Swords Dance at level 25. Bouffalant now learns Aerial Ace at level 23. And Beedrill's attack is now increased from 90 to 100. So Beedrill is still slow as hell and just overall pretty bad, but its attack is better, is what I'm trying to do. Again, if you want me to redo any of these changes and give full-on other Pokemon, like, actual reworks, like, I gave Sandshrew and Sandslash uh, a new kind of thing, um, for, like, full-on reworks. For example, Sandshrew's speed is now increased from 40 to 70. Um, and the reason why I did that is because, it rolls around whenever it attacks, it rolls into a ball. Uh, in like the stadium games, I think. I'm not sure. I mean, just roll out being an attack that it can learn pretty early on. I mean, I'm just saying. Um, Sandshrew now learns Hone Claws at level 15 instead of learning Swift. Um, Sandslash's speed is now increased from um 65 to 95 because it's just now speedy. It's a good pivot. Sandslash now learns X Scissor instead of Fury Cutter at level 28. The reason why I did this is because Fury Cutter is garbage. Nobody uses it. I mean, you could completely like disprove on what I just said, but still, um, I might be doing a full-on rework with some of these Pokemon. For example, I I buffed Raticate twice, so I gave it more defense, 60 to 70. I gave it more HP, 55 to 70. Luxray now Electric Dark, and the reason why I did that is because everybody in the fucking mother thinks that Luxray is a Electric Dark, me included. Me included. I thought it was Electric Dark for the longest time, and then I looked it up and I was like, no, it's just pure Electric. Um, that will give it more weaknesses, but that'll also make it so that well, Alakazam just gets absolutely rolled. Outside of that though, it's basically gonna be the same, I would say. Um, and a little bit of kind of what I'm gonna be doing in the next devlog is I'm going to be explaining why. Wait, what? Sorry about that. I just got a message. But I'm going to be explaining why certain gym leaders have certain Pokemon. I'm going to be explaining everything that I'm doing with said team, and I'm going to be explaining how this team isn't like busted, but it's still pretty good kind of thing. Like, for example, giving the C brothers something other than Lillipup. Like, I'll be explaining that in the next devlog. Alright, well, thank you for joining me on the devlogs. Um, future me, if you're looking at this and you changed so much, I'm sorry. And, if I ever end up finishing Kyurem Gray, fingers crossed, um, I'll try to do a bunch of other shit. For example, I'll probably be making Kyurem Gray 2, which is black and white 2, but there's a lot of changes. And then Kyurem Gray 3, um, which I'm planning on doing in the Gen 3 engine, and then just reworking a bunch of mechanics, giving new abilities, etc., etc. Alrighty then, thank you for joining me on the devlog, and I'll be signing out.